Good morning, everyone. Clint McLaughlin here, Midwest Market Management. I got Riley Sykart on with me here today. We're going to jump right into South America weather. Riley, we've talked all year about how great things are, and boy, we're kind of taking a turn for the worse here towards the end. Not that the crop isn't going to still have the potential to be very large, but we are getting delays. The delays are causing quality concerns, and even bigger yet, the delay in getting the soybeans off, particularly in the northern Brazil and safrinha growing regions, that's now pushing the window of time to get the safrinha corn in, which will, cause it to potentially be pollinating and be in critical phases of its production cycle at the wrong time.
Yeah, especially that safrinha corn crop. Dry season starts in Brazil, usually when we're getting into springtime here. And they want that safrinha corn usually planted with the most yield potential, has to be planted by the end of the third week of February. And we're here at the start of the fourth right now, and definitely not all planted there yet. Hearing a lot of reports of 50 to 55% of safrinha corn planted. So a long way to go, and that definitely could be taken away from that second crop corn production. Like you did mention too, soybean harvest being slow is definitely the cause of that. And I know the poor quality issue is kind of a big deal for the farmers down there, but the sad reality is for the beans is the bushels are still there. They just can't sell them. They got to either give them to farmers that are feeding out cattle or hogs or some kind of livestock that will just eat it no matter what. Or is there another usage in there that can be done in South America? I don't have an answer to that question. But all that said, let's get into the actual weather maps here. First thing to do is put into perspective how big of a region we're looking from anywhere in Mato Grosso and the Tocantins all the way down through central Argentina. Taking just Mato Grosso on a US map, almost the whole Midwest, guys. So a very, very large area to be looking at. First thing, we do have some updated harvest progress numbers. We'd already touched on this a little bit. The main reason to be watching is Mato Grosso, where a lot of the safrinha crop is planted. 62% soybeans are harvested, and that's compared to a 71% average and a 69% last year. So that is where safrinha corn is having an issue, is the beans aren't coming off in Mato Grosso, and that's where over half of the safrinha corn production is. So that's the one you're looking at really hard for the corn market. But as a whole for the bean market, slower than average progress is definitely not a bearish factor, I would say. So moving into temperatures here. I mentioned last week for the first time in a long time, this region of Paraguay, northern Argentina, and western Brazil was finally going to be cooled down quite a bit. And next 5 days is showing some of it coming back, but that cool temperature isn't really lasting long. 6 to 10 days got that mid to upper 90s averages coming right back. And is that a crop killer? No, but it does mean that they're going to have to get consistent rains. So looking at the last 2 weeks, that same region, there's a bit of a circle there where they're not getting a whole lot of rain. So there could be some talks of crop stress being added in this region. We'll have to wait and see if reports come out or if it stays pretty quiet. But other than that, last 2 weeks of rainfall, your reason that harvest is delayed to the north, pretty simple. They're getting too much rain. And on the flip side, there were some hit and miss rains in Argentina that this region to the east that really did need rains got some. So a lot of the drought talk in Argentina is getting eased a bit this week. So 1 to 5 day. The bad news is for those regions that did get some rain, there's not much coming over the next 10 days. Pretty dry in Argentina, and Mato Grosso and that Safrina region not getting 5 inches, but they're just getting more and more rains that are just slowing them down. So definitely not a good thing for farmers up that direction. But overall, not really anything here to get the markets too excited yet. 6 to 10 day, that dry spell is looking to end in Argentina, but actually pick up more in that southern region of Brazil, which, if you remember where I was mentioning heat, that heat in Paraguay was also cutting into Mato Grosso do Sul. So I wouldn't be surprised to hear some crop stress in this region as well. And there is a good amount of safrinha corn that's planted in that area too. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. But speaking of safrinha, moving into the most important regions, next week of temperatures, I'm not wasting any time here. It's beginning to be a consistent thing. Mato Grosso's in the 80s, to the east in the 70s. Precip over the next week, there's plenty. I can't add much to that. Going straight to the south, that region I was just mentioning, where they're going to start getting some heat. 1 week temperatures starting to cut into Brazil. If you remember, that 6 to 10 days where it's really going to start stretching into this region. So we're going to have to watch that pretty closely on the temperature side. On the rainfall side, they're getting some rain. It's not like they're completely missing out in that Mato Grosso do Sul, but when you've been in the 90s as long as they have been, I would say an inch isn't quite fixing all the issues. But as of right now, I wouldn't say there's any disasters in South America, Clint. The crops still sound to be big. Everybody's still talking record yield sizes. The question is, we know we're shaving yield, but from where? We were talking about this in the U.S. crop too. We said, are we shaving yield from a 190 or from a 185? And it ended up being more like shaving from a 190. So where are we shaving on the South America crop? I can't answer that.
Yeah, and then the other thing, the safrinha corn, and don't get me wrong, I think it's probably a concern for them guys down there, a blessing for us and our producers here from a price perspective, that it is getting behind. And if nothing else, it at least helps keep a bid underneath this corn market with the fear of the unknown. Historically, they want to plant by the third week of February. That's not happened. But it's too late. It's too early to say it's a disaster either, because who knows, the whole weather pattern, they could shift this wet weather into pollination. You'd get a 3-week drop in temperatures and everything just gets set to ideal, and Mother Nature just takes care of the problem. So it's too early to tell. But statistically speaking, we are prone to more problems down there coming in the safrinha corn.
Yep, exactly.
And there's a reason that they have their plant dates that they like to be in by, and the same as we do. So we will see. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Clint McLaughlin, Riley Sykard, Midwest Market Management. Thanks a lot and have a great day.
This material has been prepared by a sales or trading employee or agent of Midwest Market Management and is in the nature of a solicitation. This material is not a research report prepared by of Midwest Market Management Research Department. By accepting this communication, you agree that you are an experienced user of the futures markets, capable of making independent trading decisions, and agree that you are not and will not rely solely on this communication in making trading decisions. Distribution in some jurisdictions may be prohibited or restricted by law. Persons in possession of this communication indirectly should inform themselves about and observe any such prohibition or restrictions. To the extent that you have received this communication indirectly and solicitations are prohibited in your jurisdiction without registration, the market commentary in this communication should not be considered a solicitation. The risk of loss in trading futures and/or options is substantial, and each investor and/or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated by simulated historical tests of strategies, is not indicative of future results. Trading advice is based on information taken from trades and statistical services and other sources that of Midwest Market Management believes are reliable. We do not guarantee that such information is accurate or complete, and it should not be relied upon as such. Trading advice reflects our good faith judgment at a specific time and is subject to change without notice. There is no guarantee that the advice we give will result in profitable trades.